I remember 35 years ago when I was in school, we learned that Andrew Jackson, in the case of the Indians, defied the Supreme Court and said the court has made its decision, let's see them enforce it. So he usurped the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. What the Supreme Court had decided to say, we're not going to follow it, the decision. We're going to get rid of the Indians. That's what we were taught. Well, Andrew Jackson was a constructionist and a strict one, which means he believed in the Constitution. He would never, ever go against law and order as defined by the Constitution. So that's completely absurd. But what we did not learn, and it's a good example of obscurantism, owning half-truths and manipulation. There were two Supreme Court rulings. And the first one made a legit ruling. The Indians are not citizens. We can't do anything. And that's lawful. Maybe not pleasant. Maybe people don't like it. And today it's very distasteful. And we consider it oppressive and cruel and wrong and all this. But back then it's law. And what are you going to do about it? Change the law? You can't do that. So whether we like it or not, we don't like a lot of things that are legal or illegal. But the Supreme Court ruled against the Indians properly. Well, then there was a second ruling in court. Why would they make a judgment twice? Why was there even a second K court? And they totally reversed their opinion. And I read the statements by the Supreme Court on the second ruling, which granted the Cherokees permission to stay in their homeland in Georgia. Well, it's absurd what they said. It was all emotional. It made no sense. Johnson's like, fuck you. We're going to go with the first ruling. That's the truth. It wasn't like he ignored the Supreme Court. He ignored their second ruling, which made no sense to anyone, especially someone strict constructionalists who really believed in it. It made no sense. So this is a good example of manipulation to invoke hatred towards people who are really virtuous. Why? Because the government wants to go, well, you know why. Well, people like Cohen. I bet if I look up Andrew Jackson and hear him at all, I hear about the worst motherfucker who ever walked the planet. I betcha. We'll save that for next episode. I bet she will attack him like nobody's business. Why? Because he was a great man.